Hello and welcome to Module 9 of Igbo language. In this module, we shall be looking at listening, speaking, and fluency development in Igbo language. That is from knowledge to natural communication, which involves living with the knowledge, living with the language. Igbo people said, "Oge ka mma ka eji amụ asụsụ," which means language is best learned through the time and practice. The model content that we should be looking at here include listening to comprehension exercises, pronunciation and ancient refinement. We will look at public speaking in Igbo language. We will also look at debate and dialogue practice. We will further look at fluency building techniques before we draw our conclusion. By way of introduction, you have mastered the grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, and culture of Igbo. Now it is the time to shift from theoretical knowledge to practical, spontaneous communication. This module trains your ear to distinguish tonal pair, such as aqua versus aqua, recognize contrast speech, olo, and understand native speakers at natural speed. You will refine your pronunciation of complex Igbo sounds like be, nwe, nye, and ge. Master vowel harmony, develop natural and rhythmic accent. Through public speaking, debate, and dialogue practice, you will learn to open speeches with Igbo kwedu, use proverb as authority, and express agreement or disagreement respectfully. By the end, you will move from learning Igbo to living it, thinking in the language, speaking without mental translation, and communicating with confidence and fluency. Having known that, let us look at listening comprehension, that is training the ear. The biggest challenge here is distinguishing words that sound identical but differ in pitch. Example, aqua. Aqua drills 4 meanings, but it is one sound. Now we have high pattern. When you use high pattern, that you stress the first A and the last A with high tone, you are referring to crying, aqua, aqua. Then when you have low high tone pattern, you are referring to egg, such as aqua. Then we have low tone pattern, you are referring to bed, aqua. Then when you have high-low tone, you are referring to cloth, aqua. Contextual strategy, neka toro, which means neka spread, neka toro, which means neka spread. Expected should be aqua, which is bed, or aqua, which is cloth. You don't spread an egg or cry. Therefore, recognizing ellipsion, contracted speech, no law, which is no law, which is abbreviated to no law in the house, or maka ihe, or maka ihe because of this. So this is the recognizing ellipsion in comprehension listening. Having known that, let us look at listening strategies and sample passage. Practical listening exercise. The strategies that number one strategy is audio shading, audio shadowing. How do you do it? Hum the tune of sentence without understanding words. Build tonal harmony. Number two strategies is keyword hunt. Listen to verb first. Once you hear the action, then the sentence falls into place. Then number three strategies is tonal pair drills. Practice distinguishing aqua na aqua in the first speech. Now let us look at sample listening passage. Chinedu gara ahịa n'ụtụtụ. Ọ zụtara ji na akwụkwọ nri. Mgbe ọ lọtara, nne ya ji nri ahụ sie ofe. Now comprehension question. Onye gara ahịa? Who went to the market? Here, the person that went to the market is Chinedu, because he said Chinedu gara ahịa n'ụtụtụ, which means Chinedu went to the market in the morning. Another comprehension question you ask yourself, kedu ihe ọ zụtara? What did Chinedu buy? What did he buy? According to the passage, ọ zụtara ji na akwụkwọ nri. So he bought a yam and soup leaf. Gịnị ka nne ya mere? What did his mother do? Nne ya ji nri ahụ sie ofe. So that is the listening strategy. You have to listen what the passage is all about. Now let us look at pronunciation. That is mastering complex consonant. The implosive B and P sound does not exist in English. Therefore, sound like P, example in Igbo, bako, that is to gather something, bako. So B is one sound in Igbo language. The techniques is that close your lips, create a vacuum, and then release with soft pop. Then another sound is P, like in akpo, which is fufu, like peas swallowed slightly. So the technique is like the P is swallowed slightly when you are pronouncing it. Now let us look at the nasalized consonant like nwe and nye, resonant through the nose. So this is pronounced through the nose, nwe and nye. The sound nwe, like nwa, which means child. The technique is like that of W in English language, which is wet with tone ready for end sound. Then we have another sound like nye, like anyasi, which is night, like nye in canyon. Now the velar fricative be egara, to live. Throat is sound like chi in lot. Let us look at the vowel precision and sentence melody. The dot vowel make them distinct. So in a vowel, when you see a vowel sound in Igbo comprehension, the dot that is placed to the vowel makes them to look different. Like O, which does not have any dot, could sound like go. But the O that has dot under it could sound like O in English language. Now we have U, which does not have a dot, which could sound like boot, U. Now the O that has dot under it could sound like book. Now, let us look at breastiness rule. Light vowel like A, E, O, U are pronounced with narrow throat. Now, heavy vowel like A, E, O, U are pronounced with wide and breathy throat. Now, sentence melody, the drowned reed pattern. In a long sentence, each high tone is slightly lowered in pitch than the one before it. Now, let us look at tongue twister for practice. Bo, oku, bo, ekpo, ekpo, which means wear a hat and be well covered. So the three is pe and all sounds. Bo, oku, bo, okpo, bo, ekpo, ekpo. So it is that which means wear a hat and be well covered. Having known that, let us look at the public speaking, which is the heart of oratory. Ekpo, oku. The opening protocol is that wake up the audience. So before you begin any public speaking, you must wake up the crowd. So the speaker will now say Igbo kwenu, which means I greet you all. Now the crowd will respond, yeah. Igbo kwenu, you will now say it the second time, Igbo kwezonu. The crowd will respond, yeah, with a louder voice. Now you now say it for the third time, Igbo kwenu. Then the people will now respond, yeah, with full energy. Then greet specific group. Ndi nwanyị kwenu, which means women, I greet you. They will respond, yeah. Ndị ntorobịa kwenu, which means youth, I greet you. They will respond, yeah. Before your point, acknowledge elders and titlemen. Ndị be anyị ekele munu, which means our people, I greet you all. Ndị nze na ndị ọzọ ekele munu, which means titlemen, I greet you all. So these are the opening protocol for any public speaking in Igbo language. Having known that, let us look at proverb as authority and speech structure. A public speech without a proverb is naked. Lead in phrase. Example, Ndị Igbo sịrị, which means Igbo people said, or our ancients said. Ilu tunyere, which means the proverb suggests that. Now, strategic pause. After dropping a proverb, pause for 2 seconds. Show control and let wisdom sink in. Now, the language of persuasion, which is respectful but firm, include the following. Echiche mbo, which means my thought is. Biko, cherekwa, which means please wait or hold on. Another persuasive language in Igbo language include onye nwetere ntị ya nọ, onye nwere ntị ya nọ, which means he who has ear, let him hear. Now, when you want to close the speech, you now use words like ihe anyị na-achọ ka anyị ga-enweta, which means what we seek is what we shall find. Another closing speech include imeela, which means thank you all and well done. So these are some of the closing speech we have in Igbo language. Now let us look at debate and dialogue, which is the war of words. Ogun Oku. Useful expression for debate in Igbo language include 1. Echeremna, which means I think that. Another word is nihina, which means because of. Another word is nezie, which means indeed. Another word is agaghị akwado nke ahụ, which means I do not support that. Now, rhetorical question in Igbo language, which is a powerful persuasion, include the following. Onye na-esi nri enweghị oku, which means he who cook food without fire. Onye na-esi nri na-enweghị nkụ. Who cook food without fire. Now, countering respectively, when you want to counter a proposal respectfully, you now use n'agbanyeghị ihe i kwuru. M ka chere na, which means despite what you said, I still think that. Now let us look at sample debate topic. Ego ka mmadụ mkpa. Is money ego ọka mmadụ mkpa, which means is money more important than people? Now pro money. Ego na ekwu okwu, money speaks than the people. Onye nwere mmadụ ka onye nwere ego. So see that these are some of the proverbs you use to support such topic, which means he who has people is wealthier. Now let us look at dialogue essential, which involve agreeing, disagreeing, and interrupting. Now the agreeing phase in Igbo language, the Igbo people will now say ekwetere, which means I agree. The Igbo people will also say ọ bụ eziokwu, which means it is true. Then Igbo people will also say ikwuru ya n'ọnụ, you have said it perfectly. Ikwuru ya n'ọnụ, which means you have said it perfectly. Now let us look at respectful interruption. When you want to interrupt someone in a respectful manner, then the verbal cautioning. The Igbo people will now say biko baharam, which means please forgive me or excuse me. And the Igbo people will also say chere ntakịrị, which means wait a little bit. They will also say n'akụkọ nke ọzọ, which means on the other hand. Now when you want to disagree with somebody, disagreeing, you now say ekweteghị m, which means I don't agree. You may also say echiche m dị iche, which means my opinion is different. The Igbo people will also say mba ọ bụghị otu ahụ, which means no, it is not like that. Now the dialogue etiquette here is that nodding and saying a or no show you are following. Now let us look at fluency building, which is thinking in Igbo language. The one cause of hesitation. Translating from English to Igbo in your head. Now let us look at techniques 1. Think in Igbo. You have to first of all think in Igbo. Instead of think, I am tired. Think, Ike agwulam. Now, point and name the object without saying the English word first. So these are how you can build your fluency. Then number 2 techniques, shadowing native speaker. Find Igbo podcasts like news, BBC in Igbo or movie. Then listen to a sentence. Repeat immediately. Match speed and tone emotion. Then techniques number 3, circumlocution, which is the walk around scale. Forget the word for refrigerator. Describe it. Ihe ahụ a na-eme ka mmiri jụọ oyi. So you may forget the word in English and use Igbo language to describe it. For example, refrigerator, which is used to cool water. You can now see ihe ahụ a na-eme ka mmiri jụọ oyi, which means that thing that makes water cold. Now let us look at fluency summary, that is quick reference. The techniques. 1 is think in Igbo. What it does? Eliminate mental translation lag. Name the object internally in Igbo language. Now shadowing involves train mouth muscle for speed. Repeat native speakers immediately. Then circumlocution, prevent getting stuck. Describe word you have forgotten. Then verbal fillers sound natural, bite thinking times. Use or okwaya or no. Now, narration build spontaneous speaking. Talk to yourself about daily action. Now, labeling reinforce vocabulary visually. Put Igbo names on household items. Then proverb to remember. Oge ka mma ka eji amụ asụsụ, which means language is best learned through time and practice. In conclusion, you have trained your ear to decode tonal pairs like aqua versus aqua, recognize elisions n'ụlọ, and understand spoken Igbo at natural speed. You have refined your pronunciation of complex consonants such as gbe, pe, nwe, nye, and ge, and mastered vowel pronunciation, ensuring your speech is clear and natural. You can now deliver public speech using the Igbo Kwenu protocol, acknowledge elders and title men, and use proverb as authority to persuade your audience. You have learned to debate and dialogue with confidence, agreeing, disagreeing, interrupting respectfully, and expressing your thoughts without hesitation. Remember, oge ka mma ka eji amụ asụsụ, which means language is best learned through time and practice. You are no longer a student of Igbo, you are a fluent speaker who lives the language. Jisike, ndewo. Thank you and have a nice day.